Okay, we're good.
Hey, it's Dr. James Judge here and
Dr. Kalie Judge.
And welcome to Tea Time with the Judges, where we're going to bring you information to literally hack the 5 essentials of health.
This is, we've been kind of mulling this back and forth for the last few months here of how we're going to do this and what we're going to do. So we're super excited to be here with you guys today, and we have some amazing content here to share with you.
Honestly, there's so much that people think they know about what health is, and there's this expert here and this expert here. We're just going to bring you information that we know has worked for us. And you can pick and choose whatever you want to apply to your life. And really, that's the reason we're trying to do this, is so you can apply things to your life. You know, our goal in our office and with everyone that we encounter is not just to add years to your life. We want to add life to your years. You know, we know that in the last 10 years in most Americans' life is spent dependent on drugs and or in nursing homes that cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars a year.
Yeah, guys, so we teach the 5 essentials in our office, and we really just want to uncover each of those 5 essentials and allow you guys to, first of all, ask some questions and just be really honest and raw and real here. So we have the Facebook Live up, so you can ask questions, you can make comments, you can kind of just share your thoughts with us as we go along. But we want to just really make this interactive. We love to speak and be interactive and have participants and be a part of our community. And really, this is designed for you. So this is nothing about us. We're just sharing our information that we've learned through the years. Because of the devastating total of people that we've seen come through our office and just really truly be sick and suffering and not knowing where to turn.
For this first one, we want to uncover what the 5 essentials are if you're new to this or if you've never heard of them before. We're going to go through them in detail. And then what we're going to do is go through migraine headaches. Dr. Kalie has a lot of information on you and stats and how we can help prevent those things as well. So what's the first essential, Dr. Kalie?
Well, first of all, I just want to just ask a favor. Can you guys just share this on your pages so that your friends and family can see that this is happening and that people can understand or how to get over here and get live and get some tea time in with us?
Yeah, we want to break the internet. You know, this is time to get information. And I just heard a quote that said, you know, health is the most important thing in your life. It's literally priceless. And as you gain your health, it's literally the inverse reaction to that is gaining your wealth. Health equals wealth, because if you don't have health, you don't have anything. And there's a saying out there that says ignorance is bliss. Yes, okay, but ignorance is also poverty in the financial world. And ignorance can be death and disease and destruction and heartache in the health world. So ignorance, you know, we want to give you information. Again, we have information all over the place, but we want to give you information that we know can add life to your years and not just years to your life.
So you asked earlier what essential number 1 was.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorite essentials because that's maximize minds. And I think that if we don't work on discovering who we are on the inside and actually creating a positive mindset, that can be the leading cause to a devastating future in your health. Because most often, you know, we think about what we do every single day, not we, but most Americans, they wake up, they read the newspaper, they turn on the news, they get in their car, they listen to more news. I was walking by a car today and he had some news station blaring about something that's happening in China and all of this stuff. And so we're just constantly fed this negative stuff in our lives, and we don't know how to turn out of it. And so then we start to believe the lies. You know, we have a saying in Maximize Living is that you've been lied to. And that's something that we teach our patients, and that's hopefully something that we can uncover in this whole process. But really creating a maximized mindset, and what that means is teaching yourself how to speak positively, not only about your own life, but to other people. And you know, not accepting the false things that are around you, not accepting that diagnosis, not taking ownership for those things that other people have put on you, like different labels and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm really diving into this word hope today because there was a study on rats, and you know, it was back in 1970. I don't condone this study, but they put rats in a jar, they watched them drown. It took about 15 minutes. And then the second set of rats, they took that rat out, they put it on a safe ground, and then put them back in. The rats that took 15 minutes to die, the next rat that had hope took about 3 to 4 days to drown. So again, our office gives hope. And when's the last time you turned on the news and saw anything hopeful?
Well, I don't know the last time I turned on the news.
Right, well, exactly, but why? People that turn on the news and watch this stuff, it's all bombings over here and car accidents over here and there's fires over here and this and that, and I don't want to fill my brain with that, because then what does that do? That sets me up, especially if you're getting up and right when you turn on the television, that's what you're looking at in the morning, getting ready for work or whatever. You're filling your brain with nonsense. You're filling your brain with fear. And that's what these news outlets do. It's they live on that cortisol production that's in your body, that adrenaline that's produced by what you're watching on the screen. When's the last time you saw anything worthwhile, anything that, like I said, hopeful on those news stations? It doesn't exist, or else they would be non-existent. So again, our mornings look completely different, and that's one of the topics that we're going to go through: how to create a maximized mind, how to maximize your potential of what you think about, what you put into your brain, and what comes out of your mouth, and things like that.
Cool. And then essential number 2 is maximized nerve supply. So we're going to dive deep into that probably in every single video that we do, because that's really the core value of what we do and what we teach in this office, and really just teaching people the importance of their nervous system and their spine. So we'll go through all of that as we go. And I know Dr. James has some stuff to share with you guys today, just specifically on headaches and why structure equals function, and why we always have to be looking at the structure.
As chiropractors, to be honest with you, we've been demoralized in the news and in social groups and whatever for a long time, and we want to debunk those lies for you. So we know that it works. We were adjusted since birth. We have never had to go to the medical system. We would go there in case of emergency, but relying on that stuff like most people do to keep us quote unquote healthy, it's something that we do completely opposite of. And we're going to go through and literally connect the dots with you, step-by-step process on how a chiropractor not just works with back pain and headaches, but they work with the most amazing system inside of your body. This system controls everything in your body. It controls your immune system. It controls your circulatory system. It controls your healing of the skin and of your organs and of everything. It controls the growth of new cells, tissues, and organs. And that system, without it, none of us would be here today. So again, we emphasize and put more emphasis on learning that system and teaching it to everyone that we know. Essential number 3, Dr. Kalie and I, we grew up in the standard American system, or we call it standard American diet, the sad diet that people have. For me, in the morning, if my milk turned purple, that was a good day. And then I drank all of that stuff. I'm not going to use name brands here, but what stuff turns your milk purple, the greatness of that. And we're going to go through how additives and food colorings and all this stuff that we're feeding our kids has a direct link to things like ADD and ADHD. And I've had kids come in my office that are on Ritalin and Adderall and all this other stuff, and it literally gets them worse. It makes them higher. And if you go home and Google these chemical formulas, you'll be completely floored by what you get. Go home and Google chemical formula of Adderall, and it's almost exactly the same as meth, crystal meth that people cook up in their basements and sell on the streets. Ritalin is the same thing. People take this stuff and it gets them high pretty much. It's the same chemical formula as cocaine. So we're going to debunk nutritional lies, and I've heard this before: let thy food be thy medicine. But I don't think that's right to say, because you can be eating a hamburger and that's surely not your medicine from McDonald's. I name drop there, but does that make sense? You with me?
Yeah,
Let thy food be thy medicine, and thy medicine be thy food. Most people in America, we eat food-like things. That's cheap and convenient. And what happens when you eat cheap things, you create a cheap you. And that's why we're so dependent on drugs and surgeries and doctors and all of this stuff later in our years.
So I think that there's a level of that's being a wrong statement for most people, but what we're going to do, and hopefully going to do, is to kind of redirect that to actually having that be what people live by and their body thrives by, because we know that food is fuel. And so you have to be putting the right type of fuel in for your body to work the way that it's supposed to. So food is extremely important, not only for your physical activity, but even for your mental activity. I know that when I have a cheat weekend, Sometimes it takes me till Wednesday or Thursday to recover, and it's like I'm never going to do that again, right? But the reality is that my body is just in toxic shock and toxic takeover. So we're going to teach you guys how to remove yourself from that situation. And then we have essential number 4.
Essential number 4 for healthy living and creating these great lifestyles is oxygen and lean muscle. We know we are built to, absorb oxygen into our brains. We wouldn't live without it, but we're going to help you utilize oxygen and create lean muscle through the type of exercise that we teach. You've heard of high intensity interval training before, HIIT exercises, if you will. We have a program in our office that's just 12 minutes a day that people we've seen completely transform their lives. From the couch to these exercises. You can do them right in the comfort of your own home. So we're going to go through the science behind that, what happens when you do these high interval training exercises, high intensity interval training exercises. Teach you how we increase testosterone in our body and decrease body fat.
And guys, listen, we know that if you've never worked out before, or if it's been a very long time, that can be scary. Especially when you see like people on TV and those TV programs that they're ripped and it's like, I'm never going to get there. We know that that's scary, so we want to help you through that because there's different levels on this journey. We really just want to break it down and make it super, super simple so that you can achieve your health goals and not let it be overwhelming, because a lot of times when people get overwhelmed, they completely freeze and then they stop, and it's more of a fear thing than wanting to continue forward and actually take over that fear. So we just want to make things extremely simple for you to get your goals set.
Or what else would happen with food and with exercising? You set these hairy, audacious goals and you miss a day, and then you say, oh, I'm a failure, and then guess what? You don't go back again. So again, we know that people aren't going to be perfect out there after these podcasts or Facebook Lives, whatever we want to call these things. But just it's progress, not perfection. Okay? So we're going to go through some amazing life-changing things, and if you just make progress every single day, I used to talk to my patients a lot about if you get 1% better every day for 1 year, you're going to be 365% better in a year from now than you are today. How amazing would that be?
I think that would be amazing.
I think so too.
Essential number 5. Detox. It's important. It's in the environment, it's in our homes, it's in our bodies, it's in our food supply, it's in the medications that you take, it's in the water that you're drinking, it's in the food that you're eating. I mean, toxins are literally bombarding us every single day. So we really got to get a control on that.
And when we start talking about toxins, people say, do you think these things really contribute to disease? Yes, these toxins that we're going to talk about have a direct correlation to things like cancer and even obesity, because if your fat cells are toxic, then the fat can't get in and out. And I've had people that try to exercise and diet and they still can't lose weight. And another thing with toxicity is hormonal imbalance with parabens and things that cause estrogen, like they mimic estrogens in your body. So you become estrogenic, have too much estrogen in your body, and you can't lose weight. Again, balance is the key to all of these essentials. And if we're bombarding our cells and our tissues and our brains with toxins, we become overburdened with these toxins, and your body reacts to that. You can have autoimmune diseases, you can have multiple different things that happen. Your body can be attacking your own immune system. So again, when we talk about household cleaners, when we talk about stuff that we put on your skin, you got to know that your skin is your largest organ, and it's working for you every day to detox your body through sweat, and your breath even detoxes your body as well. So if you're breathing in toxins, it goes right into your lungs. If you're putting them on your skin, it goes right into your bloodstream. And then your liver and your kidneys and all your detoxification, your normal detoxification, get overburdened and cause a lot of issues down the road. So cool. Those are your 5 essentials. Number 1 is
maximize mind.
Maximize mind. Number 2 is maximize quality nutrition. And then number 3 is, sorry, I missed number 2. Number 2 is maximize nerve supply. Number 3 is maximize quality nutrition. Number 4,
oxygen and lean muscle
through high intensity interval training. And then number 5 is detoxification through different types of things that we're going to help you apply to your life.
And so sometimes people come up to us and say, well, I work out, or I do yoga, or I eat well, so I'm good. And so we want to just shed some light on, just because you do one of those or 2 of those essentials doesn't mean that you're good, right? It's really an entire puzzle. If you're missing one piece of the puzzle, you're not going to get the whole picture. So if you're not good on all 5 essentials, you've got to start getting good at every single one of those.
Yeah, so this is for the people that, go run just to eat donuts. Probably not a good idea consistently. I'm not going to, knock on any donuts, but going to a fast food hamburger restaurant after you run a 5K is probably not going to be very beneficial for your health long term. So again, these are the essentials to life. For me, I live these, to be honest, about 94% of the time. 94% is pretty good. That would give me an A almost plus in college, right? So, but again, we're not perfect. We have our cheat days, and we know how we feel after those cheat days happen. So again, progress, not perfection. So let's get into essential number 2, and we're going to correlate some things with migraine headaches. For me, it's just crazy. These people that come into my office on 19 drugs at 19 years old for migraine headaches that they still have. And these headaches, when they're on these medications, they still debilitate them. They come in with glasses and they look just disheveled, and their lives are completely destroyed for 2 or 3 days because the amount of pain that they have in their head. So what are some things that you've researched here for headaches?
So just this migraines here, headaches alone, in our country, we spend $13 billion on just that one diagnosis, on headaches alone. And so I want to categorize it. We've got cluster headaches, you can have sinus headaches, migraine headaches, and I know that all of them are pretty bad, but migraines tend to be the worst and most severe type of headaches that there are. And so we really would just want to talk about migraine headaches really quick. So we know that migraine is the 3rd most prevalent illness in the world. Nearly 1 in 4 U.S. households includes somebody with a migraine. So that means the 3 other neighbors down your street, at least one of those houses has somebody that's suffering from a migraine. There's 12% of the population, including children, who suffer from migraines, and it's the 6th most debilitating illness in the world. Every 10 seconds, somebody in the United States goes to the emergency room complaining of head pain, and 1.2 million visits are acute migraine attacks. And migraines attack, and it's more prevalent in women. Actually, 1 out of 4 women are going to experience this. So that's about 28 million women in the United States are experiencing headaches. And so it's hard for me to comprehend that, and maybe even for you too, because we've grown up getting adjusted our whole life, and so we really haven't had too many health issues going on. But one thing that I can sympathize with is just seeing people walk in, like he said, into our office. I just had somebody yesterday come in, and she was a previous patient, and she had stopped care for personal reasons for about 3 years, and she came in and she just said, I fell apart. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And she said, well, everything was going so great when I was under care here, and then I left, and it went down this spiral of events, and started seeing doctors, and she got her migraines came back, and she said that they were so bad that the doctor started putting her on antidepressants, and when her body became immune to that, they doubled the dose, and then it happened again, so they doubled the dose, and so that happened over a 3-year period. And she finally said, I'm going to go back to the place where I know it works and it helps. And so I don't want to see people have to do that anymore. And now she's got to work on weaning herself off of these antidepressants because she's not depressed.
Yeah, so let's put this into perspective here. Now I'm going to get this little guy out here. What do we call him? Timmy Tea Time Spine. Okay. So again, we teach our patients that your spinal system, all of these vertebrae, there's 24 movable segments there, should have normal cervical curves there. Cervical curve, thoracic curve, and lumbar curve. They should all be in a certain degree. That's 45. Okay. Most the time, when we have people with migraines, this top bone, this atlas, is outside of the normal position. It's usually pushed up near to the skull, and that puts pressure on the brainstem, and it also causes reduction in the flow of blood, so oxygen to the brain, okay, because the vertebral artery comes through there, and that's what supplies your brain with blood. So if that thing shifts just a little bit, it causes pressure on the top of the spine, and that's what causes the migraines. It also causes hormonal imbalance. So I believe truly that the reason why most females have more migraines is because they're imbalanced in hormones. And so for me, when I was little, I used to be a diver and a swimmer. So I would jump off cliffs and do all these crazy things. And one time I under-rotated and my skull hit the water and it shifted my atlas. And about a day and a half later, I woke up with the most excruciating pain in my brain that I've ever had in my entire life. And you put what she just said in perspective. If I didn't know, or my family didn't know how the spine worked and how pressure on your nervous system causes these migraines, who knows where I would be today. I could have been into a medical doctor's office. They could have prescribed these drugs like most people are on when they come in with medications for migraines, Norco and opioids. They're highly addictive medications. And now the migraine's the least of their worries because now they're addicted to these drugs. Now, that could have been me. But in all reality, what happened is I went to the chiropractor. They adjusted my atlas right at the top of my spine here, and it took pressure off, and within minutes, my headache went away. And that's not a coincidence. And people think that, chiropractors just crack necks and that's it. No, we take pressure off your nervous system because the migraine, that's really not what we're worried about. What are we worried about there?
So I heard a stat just this morning. 93 to 97% of migraines are coming from cervicogenesis, which means neck pain. And so when we really associate the structure of your spine, what's happening is we're losing those curves in our neck, and it's pulling on the spinal cord. It's putting pressure on the brainstem. It's putting pressure on those nerve roots. And so if we're not careful, we really have to look at those areas because people are you can't medicate away from cervicogenesis. You have to get the pressure off of there. So we're really looking at function of the nervous system and function of the spinal cord, and really to understand that your body was designed to heal. Out of all your nerves in your entire body, there's only about 10% of your nerves that are pain-fibered nerves. The other 90% of your nervous system is actually allowing your body to express health. And so really we have to look at headaches as an expression of health. Mm-hmm. And not as a bad thing, because that's just saying, like, thank God it's giving you an idea that there's something wrong, that there is pressure on your brainstem, on your spinal cord, and on your nervous system. Now it's time for you to go take action and say, hey, somebody check this out before it gets any worse.
Yeah, so before I go through structure and function, I want to, if you're enjoying this, please like it and share it with your friends so they can get this message out there as quickly as we can. Because again, these drugs people are on, that's really their only hope. And if they believe this stuff or not, we can at least get them the information so they have another avenue to go that's drugless. We don't add or subtract anything to anyone's body. We just amplify what's already there. And that's the nervous system. So for me, I always teach my patients that structure determines how you function. And if you think about the word function, ultimately, your brain controls everything. Again, like I said, it's sending life down the spinal cord, across your nervous system, into your organs. And that's how we experience life, through our nervous system. If you didn't have that system, then you wouldn't be alive. It doesn't matter. Nothing else that we talk about matters if your nerve system is not functioning correctly. So again, guys, the structure of your spine determines the function of your nervous system. Chiropractors look at 3 areas to see if there's any pressure on the nervous system: the brainstem, the spinal cord, and the nerve roots. And if the spine shifts out of the normal alignment and causes pressure on those areas, that's when function is decreased. And that's when your body starts to say, hey, something's wrong. Why don't you go get this checked out? So there might be pain here. You might have migraines. And again, what most people in America are doing is covering their pain up with medications. And we always like to say that most Americans, they ignore their health until it's too late. And then they take medications, which is really just continuing to ignore their health. And it's been said that 99% of all disease is due to lifestyle. So again, we're helping people change lifestyle first by understanding what the most important system is, and that's your nervous system. So again, we've got to take pressure off your nervous system. So the structure, again, determines function, and function determines your health. And if you want to be 100% healthy, you've got to make sure your spine's in the proper position since birth. think about the birthing canal, right? You come out of that birthing canal, they twist, they bend you, they pull you. It's a traumatic experience for everybody. Birth is a traumatic experience. And for us, we were adjusted since the day we were born. Not because we had anything wrong, but because my grandfather wanted to make sure everything was right. Because if those bones shift just a little bit and they're left there for your entire life, guess what? The function and the potential of that healing nervous system is diminished. So again, we've got to make sure that we take care of this thing. And then think about it when you're learning to walk. How many times your kids fall and shift their spine and nervous system and their pelvis rotates and that thing stays there for their entire life. And 2 years old, they're running up and back and falling all over the place. Now they're playing football at 16 years old, and getting hit head on and whatever it is. Life is what word am I looking for? Life is traumatic. Gravity's traumatic. If we're sitting at a computer all day long and gravity's pulling down like this, your spine shifts out of the normal position, and eventually that nerve gets diminished and damaged and pressed on, and your body responds by giving you pain.
And so what he was talking about is this word called subluxation. And subluxation is when those bones shift out of position. That's what's putting pressure on the spinal cord, on the brainstem, and on the nervous system. And that's what we're checking for as chiropractors. We're checking the entire spine for any subluxation, which is essentially misalignment of a vertebrae, putting pressure on the nervous system and not allowing the body to function. So, when we get adjusted, James and I still get adjusted sometimes 2 to 3 times in the week, because what do we do all day long? We're standing over people, we're adjusting them. We both work out hard, whether it be running or whether it be lifting weights or high intensity interval training, whatever it is. We want to make sure that our nervous system is cleared. What do I mean by cleared? I mean that there's no obstruction, that there's no roadblocks, there's no interference from the brain through the spinal cord to the organs, the cells, and the tissues. If there is interference, then we have to remove that and allow the body to start going back to work. You have what's called an innate potential for healing. Your body always wants you to be healing. It's just a matter of, is there a roadblock in there that needs to be removed so that the flow can get back in there? If you've ever kinked a hose before, the water's not going to get out. Same concept when you have subluxation in your spine. We're just unkinking the hose, allowing the water to get through. That's a really simple concept, and I think some people try to dress it up a little bit too much. But really, the fact of the matter is that we have to remove the interference, and then that goes into what creates or causes a subluxation. So there's 3 main causes that we talk about when in chiropractic for subluxation: thoughts, traumas, and toxins. So thoughts, if you're stressed out, imagine, just think about those weeks where there's deadlines and you're super stressed out and how much tension you feel. Well, that's tension on the muscles that are surrounding the vertebrae that's putting pressure on the nervous system. And then how you're sitting and how you're sleeping, and stress just equals subluxation. And then we talk about traumas, and like he said, it can be major traumas like car accidents or sports accidents, but it can be micro traumas as well. Things like sitting at a desk every single day, being on computers, text messaging. All of you have what's called text neck. And so you have to start, everybody always thinks I'm taking selfies or sending pictures because I'm always texting like this, but it's because I want to be looking at this level. And then the third thing is the toxins that are causing trauma. And actually, when we think about headaches, another 6% of those headaches are coming from toxicity, whether it be on your nervous system, whether it be in your environment, or the things that you're eating and things like that. I was just actually talking to another friend this morning, and he was like, I can eat a specific type of food, and I have a headache that feels like somebody's stabbing me in the eye. Again, I don't know what that feels like, but I can sympathize with the feeling that he has. But I do know that there is a cause. So yes, we have to remove the interference in the spine, but we also have to remove the thoughts, the traumas, and the toxins that are creating the interference in the spine as well.
TTT, that's what we learn in school. Remember, again, guys, thoughts create a lot of good things or bad things. It all begins in the mind. Trauma, you're not going to ever be immune to trauma. It's going to happen every day. Like I said, even gravity, and toxins as well. Going outside and breathing in the air, you're probably breathing in more toxins than they did obviously 100 years ago. Not probably, but I guarantee you that 100%. So again, what our goal here is, with tea time with the judges.
Me.
Cheers. Our goal here is to reduce the thoughts that create subluxation and disease, reduce the traumas that create subluxation and disease, and reduce the toxins that create subluxation and disease through the delivery of the 5 essentials that we preach and teach every day. We've been doing this for 10 years. And you guys, the only side effect to this stuff that we teach is abundant health. And again, we open this with saying that your health is the most important thing in your life. It's the most valuable thing in your life as well. The man or woman that has their health has millions of wishes. You know, we want to become a millionaire. We want to write a book. We want to go to Mars. We want to do this and that, you know. But, you know, as soon as you lose your health, now it becomes the most important thing. You know, it's been said once that if you spend $100,000 in your lifetime, right now that might seem like a lot, but think about what 1 year in a nursing home costs. In this area, it's $100,000. And if you live there for 5 years, that's $500,000 spent on a place where you live that you get fed drugs pretty much, and that's it. So again, we want to add life to your years, not just years to your life.
So just bring that back home too. 1 year in a nursing home is $100,000. 50 years, that's 50 years worth of chiropractic care. That's 50 years worth of building health. That's 50 years worth of bringing health into your body, removing interference, and creating this just life just full of abundance and cheer. Because when you see somebody walk in or walk by you that's on a bag full of medication, I guarantee you that they're not happy and living their life in abundance and just joyful for every moment. We want to be the person that ditches the bag of medication and that starts living their life the way that they're designed to and functioning the way that they're supposed to. And if if you can spend $100,000 in 50 years on health, that is incredible. I think that's just amazing. So, hey guys, we just want to hear from you. We've reached our time limit here that we set for ourselves. So we just want to hear from you guys. Comment in the comments below. Share this with your friends. Be interactive. Give us some topics that you guys want to hear about. What do you want us to talk about? What do you have questions about? Where's your heart at? What are you struggling with? Just help us create this whole program for you guys.
Also, help us build the audience. You know, just like this and share it, and we're going to get this message out to as many people as we can. So again, your friends and your family members and the people that you do life with can help take control of their health back. I'm in control of my health, and so is Dr. Kalie. You know, and as soon as we lose control, it's put in the pharmaceutical companies and it's put in the doctor's hands, and that's really not a good place to be. You know, it's, again, a few statistics before we leave. 5 out of 6 people in the United States die of heart disease and cancer. That's 83%. So we want the people that are involved with Maximize Living and involved with Judge Family Chiropractic and involved with this whole podcast that we're doing here. We want you to be that 1 out of 6 person that makes it to 85, 90, 95, even 100 years old running down the beach with your grandchildren, and it is possible.
As a matter of fact, we don't want you to just be that one person that makes it there. We want to actually change the statistics. We want to change that number and make it 5 out of 6 people are living and there's only 1 person that's dying, right? So we want to just make this be the transformational time with us.
Awesome.
Cool.
Tea time with judges.
Cheers.
Had a great time. We're out.
We'll see you next
Talk
time.
to you soon.
Bye-bye.